Alright guys, I am back with another weekly manga review video for Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And some strange stuff happened in this week's chapters, starting with Naruto 606 Dream World. This, I believe, is the last chapter in the Obito flashback story. I don't really see why Kishimoto would continue this after this point, but we see Obito, and after what happened with Ren, he goes and he just tells Madara he wants that world. He wants the world full of peace where Ren can be alive again. And Madara realizes that Obito is sincere and that this is the guy he can train who can help him accomplish his goals. So he takes him into his genjutsu and shows him what he can create, what he can do with this, explains the plan, and he goes on to teach Obito these jutsus. Just ways to make him stronger, ways to help him accomplish this goal. And then we see Obito with Zetsu. And they go to see a young Pain who has the Rinnegan. And Zetsu says that those are Madara's eyes. He implanted those into Pain when he was just a child. And that they can use Pain because he does have the Uzumaki blood. Or, no, it's not the Uzumaki blood, is it? Whatever Naruto's mother was, I can't even remember. But because he's part of that clan, he can accomplish this goal, and he's the only one who can bring Madara back because of that jutsu where Pain can revive anyone. So they go to see Pain to set this up, and Obito tells Pain he is Uchiha Madara. That's what he goes by. And then we see Madara, who implants his will, that's what he calls it, his will into Zetsu, one of these clones, and that's how he forms the half-black side. So he's got the white Zetsu, and then the other half-black side is, I guess, part of Madara. So Obito has that with him now, and I guess that's why Tobi and Zetsu were always so close, and always talking together, and Zetsu would spy on everything for Tobi. And that was really it. I don't think there's going to be any more of this happening. I think the flashback is over, and now we're going to get back to the fight with Kakashi, Naruto, Guy versus Madara and Obito. However, what I think is going to happen now is Kakashi is going to explain to Obito, you got it all wrong. I didn't kill Ren. He's going to tell him something about what was really happening. Obito's going to be like, oh my god, I've had it wrong all these years, and then he's going to help Kakashi fight Madara. That's what I think is going to happen here. And I don't know, maybe he'll still want to go through with the plan because he can live in a world with Ren. But yeah, I still think Obito's going to join the good guys just like everybody seems to do, and they're going to fight Madara together. So anyways, on to Bleach chapter 512, Everything But the Rain. I was kind of disappointed with this week's chapter of Bleach. Ichigo comes back. Some guy, I think it was some other guy. It didn't look like Ichigo, but some guy shows up. It didn't look like his dad. I'm not really sure who this guy was. But he breaks Ichigo free. And Ichigo shows up and challenges well, before he gets there, he finds Byakuya, who is still alive, barely. And he asks Ichigo to forgive him for getting killed, pretty much, and not being able to protect Renji and Rukia. And this pisses Ichigo off, and then Byakuya, I guess, is slowly going to die. And Ichigo goes and stands up to the Vandenreich leader, Juha Bach, and that was it. I think it's just way too soon for Ichigo to show up here. Whoever appeared in front of Chad, Orihime, Urahara, I guess that's who set Ichigo free. And we'll probably learn more about that coming up, but yeah, this chapter just didn't really deliver for me personally. I don't care to see Ichigo get involved in this fight because, my god, he's so overpowered. It just makes everything so boring. And he was able to defeat Aizen. And now you've added more powers to him? And I don't really like it in mangas when you have an upgrade and you never use that upgrade again once you get a new one. I just don't care for that at all. Like how in Naruto he'll learn a new technique and then he'll learn another technique and he'll never use that previous one. I guess he kind of uses Sage Mode a little bit, but I feel like Naruto doesn't really use Sage Mode as much as he should. He just jumps right into that Nine Tails power now. And in Bleach, it feels like Ichigo had that big power where he turned into that demon thing, and he never used it again. And then he had that power where he's like wrapped in the black shroud, and he just killed Aizen with one blow. That was pretty lame too. And now he's got this whole, whatever those things were, I can't remember what they called it. Whatever that technique was where Genjao would pull out a sword from his necklace, and he's got that now, plus his Soul Reaper powers, and it's just, oh my god, who could stand up to Ichigo? And even though they built up the Quincy's with Juha Bach killing Yamamoto, it's still no match against Ichigo, who took down Aizen, who Yamamoto couldn't stop either. So yeah, I don't really care for that. And as far as the characters being dead, Dio Sky left a comment on last week's video saying he thinks that Unohana, who's supposed to have this really powerful Bankai, could bring all of these dead characters back to life. And that is a great idea. I personally thought Orihime would be the one to bring the characters back, and Kubo would kill her off. She would strain, reach her limits, and just try to revive everyone, kind of like Pain did in Naruto, and this would end up killing her but save everyone else. That's kind of something I thought would happen, but now I'm starting to think, damn, nobody's dead once again. Rukia is going to somehow still be breathing. Renji too, if Byakuya survives. So, I still have really enjoyed this arc, but this was the first chapter since this arc started that I really could say wasn't that great. But in order to have the arrival of Ichigo, it's going to have to take something down a little bit. There's not going to be tons of fighting all this time, so I do kind of understand it at the same time. So anyways, on to One Piece, chapter 685, I believe. Momonosuke, that's my name. And I like this chapter. It was different. There was no cover story this week because they had a color page. But Luffy is talking to Momonosuke in the trash can. And he's a dragon. And he tells his story about how he was kidnapped and brought to the island. It never shows, Oda never shows us what Momonosuke looks like as a child. He's just a shadow, basically. He's constantly just colored black the whole time, so he can't see what he looks like. But he's talking to Luffy about how he was brought to this island, and he refused help from the other children. They would offer him food and say, hey, we got you some food, and he would refuse to eat it because he is a samurai warrior from the Wano country, and he just found his own food by exploring the lab, and he found a devil fruit, and he ended up eating this. And we see some of those guards who wear the funny suits, and they find out that it's missing, and they're like, someone ate the Dr. Vegapunk man-made devil fruit, and they said that it wasn't actually finished, it doesn't work properly. And we just see Momonosuke turn into a dragon and escape. So he's telling Luffy all of this, and Luffy says, well, you can change back. And he says, how do you do that? And I'm thinking maybe because this is a Vegapunk devil fruit and it was kind of a prototype and it's not completed, that maybe Momonosuke can't turn back. He's stuck in this dragon form. Which is going to come into play later when he comes across his dad, who hates dragons. Because I don't think there's any way he would know Momonosuke is a dragon. But Luffy is talking to him, and he freaks out, and Luffy grabs onto him, and he's flying out of the trash. So that's how Luffy is going to escape this dumpster situation. I feel like I'm leaving something out here. Oh, he also tells Luffy that he was listening to Caesar while he was on the run, and Caesar plans to kill these kids because they're experiments and he expects failures. So he says in 5 years they're all going to die anyway. I'm sure Chopper's going to save them all, but that just goes to show you just how evil Caesar is, which also pisses Luffy off, and Luffy really just wants to kick Caesar's ass now. Then we cut to some of the other Straw Hats. Sanji's still running from the gas with G5. He's kicking their asses to make them go faster. And let's see, Chopper, Zoro, Robin, They're still trying to protect these kids, and Robin's trying to protect the kids from eating the candy, and Monet is fighting them. She's carrying these swords in her feet, and she cuts Robin, and then Zoro says, "I'll handle Monet," and then he blocks her sword with his sword, and that was pretty cool. We see Virgo still fighting Smoker in the room with Law. Still no clue what the SAD production room is, and that was it, really. I'm trying to think if there was a big cliffhanger of an ending here, because I do feel like I'm kind of missing something, but yeah, I think that was pretty much it. They're all trying to escape. Caesar set that up last week, where he's going to close off all the other rooms so that they're forced into the same area, and I guess we'll see what happens there. It's going to be really cool, though, once they are all in the same area. We have all the Straw Hats, all the G5, Caesar's men, Luffy fighting Caesar. It should be really good. So I did really enjoy this week's chapter of One Piece. It was a little bit strange, but still a very interesting chapter. So anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. Leave your thoughts on this week's chapters in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye. He goes on to teach Obito these jutsus. Just ways to make him stronger, ways to help him accomplish this goal. And then we see Obito with Zetsu, and they go to see a young Pain who has the Rinnegan, and Zetsu says that those are Madara's eyes. He implanted those into Pain when he was just a child, and that they can use Pain because he does have the Uzumaki blood. Or, no, it's not the Uzumaki blood, is it? Whatever Naruto's mother was, I can't even remember. But because he's... Alright guys, I am back with another weekly manga review video for Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And some strange stuff happened in this week's chapters, starting with Naruto 606 Dream World. This, I believe, is the last chapter in the Obito. And Madara realizes that Obito is sincere, and that this is the guy he can train, who can help him accomplish his goals. So he takes him into his Genjutsu and shows him what he can create, what he can do with this, explains the plan, and flashback story. I don't really see why Kishimoto would continue this after this point, but we see Obito, and after what happened with Ren, he goes and he just tells Madara he wants that world. He wants the world full of peace where Ren can be alive again.